Step into the shadows with me, my darlings. For tonight, we wander the labyrinth of time itself. You're intrigued already, aren't you? I promise, you won't be disappointed, though you may leave with questions you'll wish you could unask. This is the story of Lars Thorn, a man whose fatal flaw wasn't greed, nor pride, but something far stranger. His enemy? Time. And let's just say, time is not something you should ever try to bind. Lars, a horologist in an era quickly outpacing his craft, lived alone, ensnared by the ticking and talking of hundreds of intricate clocks in his shop. They surrounded him like vultures, watching, waiting. Lars was obsessively pursuing perfection, so consumed with the act of repairing and building clocks that he forgot, dear listener, what it meant to live by the minutes they measured. Unlike most stories of horror and dread, Lars's downfall didn't begin with a grand act or an ancient curse. It began simply with an old woman and a clock unlike any he'd ever seen. She entered his little shop just before closing, her silhouette small and bent like a question mark. The piece she brought, oh, it was marvelous. Ornate ebony wood, silver filigree that seemed to shimmer even in the dim shop light, and gears so delicate they seemed woven from moonbeams. The woman claimed it wasn't just a clock. "It measures more than seconds," she whispered. "Do not open it unless you wish to become its keeper." Intriguing, isn't it? Lars, being Lars, waved her off, scoffing at the cryptic warning. A clock was a clock, after all, or so he thought. As days turned into nights, his fascination with the clock grew. It didn't tick like others, but hummed softly, an electric pulse vibrating the air around it. He should have known, shouldn't he? That curiosity often masks an aching hunger. One fateful night, after hours of resisting the urge, he opened it. Inside? Oh, what wonders and horrors he unleashed. The clock held not gears, but swirling shards of light and darkness. It wasn't a clock, darling, but a prison. And the prisoner? Time itself. Yes, the ephemeral essence that rules us all and shows no mercy. What happened next? It wasn't instant, no. Time began bending around Lars. Hours would pass in seconds. Seconds would stretch into minutes, leaving him gasping for certainty. He saw faces in the reflections of his shop's clocks, warped, elongated, mouths moving in silent screams. He was untethered, floating through a reality where time had become viscous, suffocating. Yet Lars refused to let go of his obsession. He began marking everything, each moment, each distortion, on parchment that never ended. He called it the map of hours. He believed, you see, that he could rewrite time, fix its fractures. Ah, the hubris of humanity. One evening, or perhaps it was morning, he couldn't tell anymore, the old woman returned. She stood in the doorway, smirking, her eyes glistening with something almost otherworldly. "You opened it, didn't you?" she asked, though it was no question. Lars begged her for guidance, for mercy, but she merely extended her wrinkled hand. Hand it back, or let it devour you. He couldn't let it go, not after the sleepless days, the endless maps. But then came the twist, my dear listeners. The woman was not offering him salvation. As he hesitated, her form began distorting, growing impossibly tall, her voice splitting into echoes. Lars realized, too late, that she was not human at all. "Every century," she thundered, her voice vibrating across his bones. "A keeper is chosen. The clock feeds. It must feed." And so, Lars Thorn was consumed, not by the clock itself, no, but by time. His body froze mid-motion, his mind forever trapped in loops of his worst memories and moments of indecision. The shop remained, haunted not by a ghost, but by the echoes of time unraveling and stitching itself back together. Customers who visited in the years after spoke of hearing faint ticking when there was no clock in sight, of shadows moving just beyond their gaze. Some say, if you peer through the windows on a moonless night, you can see Lars, frozen, his hand perpetually reaching forward with an unspoken question etched into his face. So, dear listener, the question is this: what would you do to control time? And more importantly, once you've mastered it, who or what will master you? Sweet dreams, if you're still brave enough to sleep after that. Until next week, my darlings. The dark always echoes back.